On the eve of Israel's Independence Day, Boy Scouts parade down the street with drums and flags. But here in the Arab town of Shfaram, a parade of Arab Scouts where Israeli flags are raised and carried through the streets underscores the complicated position of the 1.3 million Arabs who make up 20% of Israel's citizens. Some, like Orsan Yassin, the Arab mayor of Shfaram, feels that Israel is his country and supports celebrating Israel's anniversary.
The flag represents me. I am a citizen of Israel. I am a Palestinian. I am an Arab. A Palestinian and a citizen of Israel. This is me. This is how I define myself. This is my country, and this flag is my flag.
But as Israel toasts its 60th anniversary, thousands of Arabs will protest what they call the Nakba, or the Day of Catastrophe. For these Israeli Arabs, the founding of the State of Israel came at their expense. But the situation of Israeli Arabs is incredibly complex. With the Israeli government committed to affirmative action, there is already an impressive level of Jewish-Arab coexistence in parts of Israel, and Israeli Arabs are better integrated with more political freedoms than the vast majority of other Arabs. Nonetheless, more than 60 years later, many Israeli Arabs feel increasingly unwanted and far less well-off than Israeli Jews. There are 3 times as many Arab families below the poverty line as Jewish ones. And land is an especially sore point.
Land has always been at the heart of the struggle. The Jews always thought of themselves as a people without a land, looking for a land without people. Well, there were people here. There were Palestinians here.
In 1948, after the United Nations established the State of Israel in what was once Palestine, Arab armies attacked Jewish settlements. In retaliation, the Israeli military evacuated and destroyed hundreds of Palestinian villages, and in the intervening 60 years, Arabs were not allowed to resettle them. Today, those villages remain empty, except for a few grazing animals, battle scars of the conflict that gave birth to Israel.
I miss everything in Ikrit, from every little bit of dirt to the air. I miss the flowers, the trees.
The abandoned villages taunt former residents like Ma'aruf Nami Ashkar, who longs to return to his village of origin, Ikrit. Ashkar walks to Ikrit every day to maintain its church and cemetery, the only things left of the village.
All we want is to come back. We do not want to be dead in our village. We do not want to come only carried in boxes. We want to live and bring up generations here and return to our history. This is what we want.
Ashkar says that the government's refusal to let him return to his village make him feel like a second-class citizen.
I am an Arab Christian. I hold the Israeli ID card. We are proud to hold this identity, but we lack a lot of pride. All the time I come to my destroyed land, while I see on the other side people expanding their territory and building houses, while I have an Israeli identity, but I cannot build or add a straw on my land. Where is our pride?
In 1953, the Israeli parliament retroactively declared the captured village land to be state property for either settlement or security purposes.
The government wanted to lay claim to it and be able to use it first and foremost for its Jewish citizens. If Israel has any raison d'etre, it has to be a place where Jews can come to.
And so, Israeli Arabs watch as their former lands are farmed or built upon by Jewish newcomers. Dawood Badr used to visit this crumbling mosque in the former village of Rapsi, where he was born. He often took his wife and grandchildren to pass on the legacy of family land that was lost.
This mosque is the biggest proof there was a village here. All the stones around the place and stairs on the west side of the village all prove there was a village here with people.
But Israeli authorities blocked off the mosque with a fence and barbed wire, and Badr has learned that that certain parts of his abandoned village are going to become a Jewish cemetery.
I think that we did not have a fair and just solution concerning the history. We were uprooted from our villages and houses. They confiscated our lands while we were present. The law considered us absent, but we were actually present. We were forced out.
So instead of living in their own villages, the majority of Israeli Arabs are packed into crowded towns like Al-Fahim, the second largest Arab town in Israel. And their anger at the discrimination grows.
As if I am not a citizen, the lands are taken from me in the purpose of settling others. Why is that? Am I not a citizen of this country as well? I hold my duties. Why can't I take my own rights? This is an unbelievable thing.
Abdul Latif Mahajni and 200 others have gone to court to get back 50 acres of their family's former land in the village of Lejun. They say since the land has gone unused, they want it back.
As you can see, the lands are empty. We can use these lands for better causes that can serve all the citizens of Al-Fahim. We decided to seek justice, if we find it, in the Supreme Court.
They arrive at the Supreme Court in July. But some say Israel's legal and political systems are stacked against them.
Land is presence. If you allow people to go back to land, that opens up the door for others to do it, and that would reduce the land space of Israel, which Israelis consider as very little to begin with. So land is important.
Mohammed Ali Saeed Harani agrees. The desire for his old village and his own history has only gotten more intense in the last 60 years.
Of course I miss Hatin. If they tell me to return back, I would do it first thing in the morning. The land where I live now does not belong to me. What have we got now? Right now we are living in tin shacks. We used to have a home in the past. I used to have 4 houses here in Hatin. I used to have 4 houses. My children used to live in one. We used to live in one.
In 1948, Harani fled from Hatin with little more than the clothes on his back. Now in his 80s, Harani comes back to Hatin to see the remains of a mosque and some arched buildings that served as a boys' school.
I am happy now. I came here and saw my village.
But as he walks around his destroyed village, memories and sadness consume him.
Everything is ruined. Everything is totally destroyed. What can we do? That's the situation. That's what Israel wants. Hopefully, you can return us back to our lands.
Inshallah.
God willing.
Inshallah, inshallah.